Hello, everyone. Blue Star Saber here with
It's Mangareader, guys. Who
yes,
else?
and we're here to discuss the latest My Hero Academia chapter reviews and all that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And and I've just confirmed that our audio is fully working. So yeah, let's get on with the chapter and all that stuff. In which chapters 365 and 366. As I like to call them, Shigaraki's Envy and A Hero Arrives. But yeah. So anyway, we followed up from the last chapter, which was probably one of the most controversial chapters in My Hero Academia history, in which, as it looked like Bakugo was dying, instead Edshot, I believe the hero's name is, decided to do a do a sort of Chio hero sacrifice, if you will, and using his quirk Fred abilities to repair Bakugo's heart, but probably kill him in the process, from what I can tell. And we're about to see whether or not it works and all that stuff.
Hmm.
But many people were pretty much not happy because what would probably be the biggest death in the series turned out to be a cop out. And it barely even lasted a chapter or two.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, the chapter begins where it's called 365, number 4 and number 5, as it was revealed that those two, I think, were friends in school and all that stuff. But it begins with an introduction about the hero. It was Edshot and his quirk called Flatter Body, and apparently allows his body to stretch thin and sharply and all that stuff. And due to all the training he's done, he's even thinner and can squeeze tight to stop even gushing blood. Apparently, he can make it as thin as a spider's thread. Let's see. As he plans to sterilize his own body with some bubbles, I think, before tries to go inside Bakugo's heart and starts threading it up together. And the description goes more about how he can stretch his body out as thin as any surgical suture, I think it says. As the description says, remaining in this extremely slowly but surely eats away at Edshot's life and all that stuff as he thinks back about how best genius would probably help finish off the structure, keeping Bakugo alive and all that stuff, or do his best to keep Bakugo alive and all that stuff. And as he keeps preparing the body, he's going to revive Bakugo's heart as we see sort of like him completely battered on the floor, as you know, looking like a dead corpse. As Genus tells, as I believe Edshot tells Genus to keep fighting and all that stuff. And apparently tells him to win the day and tells Bakugo to regain consciousness as he asks him to come back to life. Though Shigaraki says that he is, Bakugo is already dead or destroyed, if you will. As he thinks back to about how he wants to destroy everything. He claims that he already, killed Bakugo, though. He's repeating himself really as he goes into his monster hand mode. But I believe Hiroko, damn, I always forget her name. Every time. Mirako, yes, Mirako.
It already says it in the.
Oh yeah.
Unless you're not reading the.
Not reading. I'm reading it page by page.
Well, I know that, but I'm just saying, unless you're not reading on the Viz.
I'm reading on the Viz. But yes, she interferes and kicks Shigaraki and all that stuff.
Uh-huh.
Let's see, with him just saying, is she eager to get crushed and all that stuff, but she mocks him for saying it and all that stuff. With Shigaraki, I think he just staggered a little bit and felt like he felt a bit damaged. And she mocks Shigaraki for being a so-called demon lord, but she ends up, I suppose, pouncing on a bunny. But it looks pretty morbid with the way her arms are being, completely cut off. I have to be honest. But yeah, she's pretty much running like a bunny or hopping like a bunny. Or, what just ever bunnies do when they run.
Yeah.
As Lumenium comes to assist her and all that stuff and tries to blind him. As she's going to try, as he tells him to die when it's her time to go. With Shigaraki thinking about how this might sting a little, but he's wondering if he's taking too much damage and all that stuff. Thinking back, apparently when he panicked, he actually apparently felt a threat ended, and apparently threatened me, meant me back to some ground extra. Okay, he's thinking when he the brief moment he panicked against Bakugo. As Mirko says that Bakugo told her to win and all that stuff, so she'll make good on that. Or was it one of the other heroes? I can't recall. As one of them thinks that tells her not to go quietly, as she charges towards Shigaraki, saying she won't have any regrets on the table, and uses a move called Lunar Rush, and I think which lands a blow on Shigaraki. As we see panels of all the heroes that are in let's see, Best Genius, Mirko, and the Big Three. We see then start seeing inside Shigaraki's own mind, where all these hands are grabbing onto a young version of him, thinking about how he already destroyed Bakugo. And then we see images of his entire family, and also the people that left that did not help him, all that stuff. And he's thinking about how he wasn't broken back then, but it's nobody's reaching out to help a hand and all to that stuff as his arms start to grow. As he thinks more about what he said earlier about how his body adapts and searching for ground for an ideal form. As we get a close-up of a young Shigaraki turning to the more morbid white head and all that stuff. He thinks about how it's not like anybody would even look at him, as the chapter ends with appears to be the parts of his things growing into faces of all his family members and all that stuff, and maybe the person who one of the people that ignored him, ending the chapter, implying some sort of transformation's about to happen. So, Mangareader, what did you make of the first chapter?
It's short.
Yeah, it is probably one of the shortest chapters I have ever read, given the fact that we're not even crossed the 10-minute mark in my description.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't really. Damn. This is actually the first time I've actually really read it. I didn't even read it when it first came out, and I'm like, I feels like, honest to God, it feels like a filler chapter.
Yeah, to be honest, and I think even the title's a bit misleading for this chapter, 4 and 5.
What is it saying? Oh yeah, number 4 and 5. That's what it's called.
Yeah.
The fourth hero and the fifth hero, even though they don't really do much of anything in this.
Yeah. See. Yeah, clearly it's supposed to be about. Okay, granted, I know Best Genius is the. Okay, granted, Best Genius is the third hero. Edshot is the fourth.
Mm-hmm.
I guess Mirko is the fifth. So technically, the fifth hero does quite a bit in this chapter, but the fourth one is sort of in the beginning. So I can kind of see it, but at the same time, I feel like It doesn't really imply it much, but I honestly feel like it's more like not looking at me and all that stuff would have probably been a better title, given how that's Shigaraki's mindset from the end of it. But yeah, I suppose I do like seeing the description they give of Edshot's quirk and all that stuff, and showing how it's repairing Bakugo's heart. I will admit, Kai's always really good with this sort of art, with his art and all that stuff. This chapter, so I'll give him that. Granted, I'm not sure how much Bakugo will be of help because his face looks like it's been wetty shoved into a wall, pretty much. Mm-hmm. But yeah. It is interesting that he can make his threads go as thin as a spider's thread, but as a result, it costs him his life. So I expect him to probably be dead by the end of this when Bakugo gets back up. Granted, I still feel like if you're going to do a self-sacrifice thing, it would probably be more impactful if it was Best Jeanist saving Bakugo's life rather than Edshot.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Full body allows him to stretch out, making thin and spindly. Yeah, we still literally know basically next to nothing about Edshot, honestly.
Yeah. He's just one of those minor heroes. I mean, okay, he's appeared every now and then and all that stuff.
I mean, he's a major ranked hero, but we've never actually seen him outside of the Bakugo rescue arc. Of course, we didn't even know he was before the Bakugo rescue arc.
Mm-hmm. The only other time I think I recalled seeing him is when he teamed up with like Mount Lady and Kami Woods to form a hero team.
Maybe he did. Yeah. Really, the rest of it is just shit we've seen Mirko do before, which is ignore basically insane amount of damage.
Yeah, and just keep on fighting.
Which is kind of dumb because her only power is being a rabbit. Rabbits don't exactly have that much durability.
It is true. I mean, it is kind of fun to see a hero move like that, but you don't expect it to be one of the top 10, really. I guess that's why he decided to make it that way.
Right. I'm trying to figure out what the hell Mirio is trying to do in this battle, in that at least one shot right there. It doesn't look like he's doing anything.
It seems like he's trying to cover Shigaraki's eyes.
Maybe.
You know,
I know he's permeating, but that's about it.
I mean, from what I can tell, he seems to be trying to blindside Shigaraki so Mirko could get in and attack Itzy head on and all that stuff.
Maybe.
And to be fair, she does actually manage to do damage to Shigaraki, which might be the first time she's done so. As Shigaraki really, and I do like how Shigaraki seems to be thinking, what's going on? I destroyed Bakugo, and it's like, why am I feeling this way and all that stuff? But I do think that deep down, from what we can tell from the last few pages, is that he's actually jealous, or seems to be a bit envious at the fact that some Bakugo he thinks is beyond saving is having all these heroes put in their effort to keep him alive and all that stuff, and yet when he is a child and needed help, even when he wasn't too far gone, none of the heroes showed up to come here and all that stuff. So it kind of shows you that. So yeah, so it shows him that it's jealous enough, that it makes him angry enough that, like the inner child in him, that it begins like a new transformation for him and all that stuff. So.
I already destroyed them. I wasn't broken back then, but it's not like anybody reached out a helping hand to me. It's not like anybody would even look at me. I keep looking back at his backstory and I keep thinking he's absolutely out of his mind. I think his parents actually did love him, except maybe his dad, but you know.
But the mother probably loved him, and I think deep down the grandparents and his sister did.
mean, his dad didn't hate him. It's just he didn't like the idea of him becoming a hero because he was envious of his
Mum.
grandmother, which was
Yeah.
his mother, being a hero and never spending time with him.
Speaking of that, let's see. One reason why I've been pretty late in these chapter things is because in the UK, our dear late Queen has sadly passed a few weeks ago. Long live your reign. But yeah. So yeah. Overall, I feel like this chapter would probably be like a 6 to 7 out of 10, really.
Yeah, you're giving it maybe a little too much credit. It's a
Yeah.
filler chapter. It's probably a 5.
Yeah, I know. I feel like perhaps as I remember giving last week, 6 to 7. Well, 6 probably, or 5, or maybe 4 actually.
I don't remember. Well, the last chapter, yeah, it still had stuff going for it. This one,
but
this one doesn't. This one just feels like, oh, I had to get something out for the week.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty quick. So yeah, I have heard some people not being happy with My Hero Academia, but with chapters like this, I could probably see.
Frankly, nothing is happening here.
In some ways, it probably feels like this chapter would work better in like with merging with another chapter and just having Koei say, "How about I take a break this week? I can have more of the extra content out for next week."
Yeah, if I was to read a comment, one specific comment from the Viz Shonen Jump, it's this one person that said, "There's no reason for the fighting to be dragged out this far. If Mirko's going to kick the can, just do it already. If a younger hero is going to be killed off, just keep him there." It's like, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, a lot of this just feels like, oh, I'm going. I'm under the impression that maybe Koei is going to try and get this to a magic number chapter somehow. It might try to get to 500 at this rate.
Well, there's 44 chapters left to go before the 400 mark, so we'll have to see if it's that one.
Isn't it 45? Or, well, yeah, 35, I mean, because this is chapter 365.
Oh, yeah, 45. Yeah, sorry, I'm thinking of
35, actually.
Yeah.
35 more chapters till 400. I highly doubt it's going to end at 400.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like this. Feels like there's quite a lot more to just deal with and all that stuff.
I'd say 450 maybe, if we're lucky.
Yeah, that seems to be more like the ideal place to end it, if you ask me, if you're going to go to like a special number.
And then you have to devote another 50 chapters to something else entirely.
Yeah, but yeah. But anyway, I suppose we should get to the next chapter now, 366, Full Moon, but I like to call it A Hero Arrives. As we get a narration explaining about how Todamura Shigaraki's body was grouping around for optimal form. Apparently, it seemed to be the optimal form seemed to be a bloated mass of fingers forever seeking destruction. A form that overwhelmed the world around him and kept everyone at arm's reach. And apparently, thanks to the erasure, he couldn't heal the accumulating damage to his body. There, and plus the stress and panic afflicting his mind. Let's see. I was thinking about how the hero's best at form, and it gone away his essence as we see like the faces of his family merging around his body and creating a new form. And apparently, as his body turned into a new ideal form for the particular moment, as we seem to get a form where Shigaraki's left hand becomes a giant fit hand with his family serving as the fingers, as his chest and head are, even his knees are covered, around with like hands and fingers, making it look like some sort of like twisted armor, if you will. Showing if that is gone to some sort of transformation, if you will. as Mirko tries to attack Shigaraki, but he slams her away, and you can hear the massive smash sound effect in the first translation, though that would probably be some sort of Japanese wording, I think in the actual Japanese one. With Lemenian shocked about what had happened to like Mirko and all that stuff, as Sun Eater is also there, and as he said about Sailor Minium's name and all that stuff, I think he seems to get smashed as well. And then hold on.
Oh, geez, what are you doing?
I'm trying to remember. Irajo. Yeah, I believe so. Is it Irajo? I think I'm trying to remember. The big three. Yeah. Nirajay Hado. Yeah. Let's see.
How do you always forget that, man?
I don't know. I just really don't know. I think she attempts to try and attack Shigaraki as well. But let's see. I think Shigaraki tells her to knock it off as he sends her flying, and you can see the Derbis as well. Let's see. With Shigaraki mocking Lemurian about how he has nothing. As he thinks about how in his own way he's not even seemed to be worth Shigaraki's time, as he curses damn it in his head. With Shigaraki now appearing to head towards Bakugo to prevent the heroes from fixing what he thinks is already broken. With Best Genus preparing the fight, using his threads to try and form a defensive form that, to prevent Shigaraki from escaping, mocking him for the conclusion that Shigaraki's come to, as Miro phrases through and all that stuff, but it has no effect on all that stuff. As Lumenium's looking around, seeing all his pals being battered around, as he thinks back to what Night Eye said about him, saying about how he'll make a fine hero in the future, wondering if this is really the future he saw in him and all that stuff. As the leader of the Pussycat superheroes ends up telling them to drop the electromagnetic barrier just for a moment, as she tells Best Genus and Luminium to keep him busy just for 2 seconds and all that stuff. With Best Genus thinking, wait, why? But probably realizing what it is. And as Shigaraki is just about to attack Best Genus, you have Lumenian thinking about what he could do to get Shigaraki's attention and all that stuff. But wondering what he has in his arsenal as he thinks back to Night Eye, thinking probably the words he said, so keep smiling. Talks about how, a world without smiles and humor, as Miro, as he thinks, Luminium thinks back to when he was got smart, Night Eye smiling, and he reveals he ends up trying to do a sort of shoves his butt right in front of Shigaraki's face, calling it the full moon rising tonight. Let's see. And this seems to freeze Shigaraki a bit for just how ridiculous it is. As he hears the word bright future, and then we see Midoriya has finally returned to the battlefield. We're using his black whips on some poles, and we see behind him, the fighter jets for I've forgotten the hero's name. Let's see, All Star. Okay, I'm trying to remember the hero that based herself off of All Might's name now. I've forgotten her name too.
Stars and Stripes?
Stars and Stripes, yes. I am not good to names tonight. up too late for all that stuff. Stars and Stripes, like her jet planes have come in and all that stuff. And it looks like, and the chapter ends with a close up of Midoriya's face and Shigaraki's face looking at each other as Midoriya hits Shigaraki and slides in a hero entrance, ending the chapter.
Yep.
So, Mangareader, what do you make of this chapter?
What do I make of this chapter?
Yeah.
No, better.
Yeah, definitely better than the last two ones. I definitely say that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I do find it interesting that they're actually painting this picture that Mirio might not actually have anything other than his permeation.
Yeah, it's like he's thinking back. Didn't Yutzi say that I would become a great hero someday? And it's like, how is that possible when it looks like he's about to lose all his comrades? It looks like he's about to die against this.
Well, he wouldn't die, but yeah, everyone else would.
Yeah, it's like, how can you do that when everyone else is going to die and all that stuff? So it's like, including like his two best friends.
Right.
Yeah, I do like him.
It is kind of weird because I mean he was beating up oh man, now your forgetfulness is rubbing off on freaking me, dude.
You mean Overhaul?
Yes. He was beating up on Overhaul without his quirk.
Yeah.
So I guess that's also just a testament of how busted Shigaraki really is. But you know, the one thing that's really depressing is the fact that I guess his regenerative ability did, even though Stars and Stripes destroyed quirks, apparently his regenerative ability was not one of them because they make that a very much a thing, saying why erasure is being used.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, can't heal according to the damage because guess what? Erasure's in play. Meaning, oh shit, he's got regeneration. Meaning, if somehow he screws up erasure,
Yeah, it seems like his body has evolved to possess just a general regeneration that's not a quirk.
well, it's not really a regenerative ability. He's not healing his wounds. What he is doing though is adapting, and he took on a defensive state of mind based on basically what he's doing. So
Yeah. Having like his or family as his giant hand and then having all these fingers wrap him up like it's protecting him in a sense.
right.
But I have to admit, I do kind of like this design. It's creepy and all that stuff. Yeah, sorry.
At least it's showing that his evolution isn't going to make him like insanely ridiculous in terms of design, I guess.
Yeah, I suppose it does fit to him because like Shigaraki's always been sort of obsessed with hands and all that stuff.
Of course, on the other hand, this is just fulfilling Koei's weird fetish of always drawing human body parts, but you know.
Especially the hands and figures. I mean, granted, I know for an artist for the fact that those are always the most difficult to draw.
Yeah. Hands are not fun. Feet are worse, but hands are not fun.
Oh yeah, it's like, and let's see. One thing I think I have never really approved on in drawing is with hands and fingers.
Yeah.
You think that's such a tiny part of the human body when thinking of the whole scale of it, they'd be easy to draw, but they're not.
But yeah, it's cool to see that Midnight or Night Eye instilled some words of wisdom.
Yeah, to like his number one pupil, if you will.
Yeah. Actually, it's kind of cool to see a Night Eye that was a little more on the leg side. Yeah.
Yeah, because we know that he had a sense of humor, but we never really got to see it because, well, Midoriya did the wrong type of joke.
Also, well, yeah, that too. But also, Night Not that I wouldn't have laughed at anything Midoriya said because he never approved of him in the first place.
Yeah. No, he also got a bit angry because he felt like Midoriya might have been mocking All Might at first.
Yeah.
Until he did some like until he turned into some sort of like My Hero, All Might fan trivia.
Yeah. All Might. It was who's the bigger fan of All Might?
Yeah, the sidekick or his successor.
Well, I think it's safe to say that, yeah, when I was right the first time, that was Stars and Stripes Fleet.
Yeah, you're right. I should listen to you more often.
Oh, loser.
Good thing I don't bet money on you in these predictions.
Yeah, you're right. It would have been cool to see what the hell transpired for that, but
Mm-hmm.
I have no idea. The only spoiler I saw for the next chapter is something completely unrelated to
I
the Fleet.
believe the next chapter, when it officially comes out, does reveal what exactly happened when
Oh, really?
Midoriya encountered them. But yeah, but it is nice to see that Midoriya's finally on the battlefield again.
We still have no idea what Ochaku and Toga are doing.
Yeah, it's like, go ahead. How long are you going to make those absent? I mean, not to mention, you have all these other battlefields you've kind of set it up.
We've got 3 important battles going on, apparently. Only 3.
Yeah, 3 important battles and, well, maybe 4. Let's see.
There was the 4th one. Spinner has only shown up for like half a page.
Well, okay, hold on. Like, All for One, Darby, Toga, and, well, Shigaraki, but I guess you're not counting
Like I
Toga.
said, Toga hasn't been showing up at all, man.
Yeah.
We
But
got
yeah,
3 important battles.
yeah, but it's like these should be the 4 most important ones, and there are all these other minor ones in the background which you can probably show from time to time.
Yeah.
But you're not doing that.
Not at all.
But yeah, but on the one hand, I do like Midoriya's entrance, and I do really like how Carl, well, just doing sort of Spider-Man catapult thing, if you will. But I do like how he commits like 2 pages of just Midoriya and Shigaraki looking at each other, like, let's see, the other thinking it's time and all that stuff for them to fight and all that stuff, or like, I'm here now, or are you here?
So I think it already was confirmed first off anyway, but this just outright 100% confirms that Midoriya's uniform is strictly the
UA
uniform with just some of his other uniform things, like his shoulder pads somehow attached on his belt that does nothing.
So yeah, it's like it's a sort of mixture of like all his costumes. But I guess if I had to guess, the reason why it's gone back to the old uniform, well, because besides Midoriya's, let's see, his actual hero costume being so badly damaged when he went, when he left UA for that one arc.
Yeah.
But I think another reason why Kari probably has Midoriya wearing this, let's see, his like UA uniform, gym uniform, is because, well, it was what he was wearing the first time he encountered Shigaraki. So it might as well be what he wears as the last time.
I want to say I think they did change the pattern on it. I want to say that it's usually red on the side, but now it looks like it's white. So I don't know. Well, yeah, I think the UA uniform is red with blue.
Yeah, that is a mix of red, blue, and white.
Yeah, like usually the pattern. Oh, never mind. I guess the patterns are typically. Well, it's tough to really say if it's the UA uniform now that I'm looking at it again, because it looks like it's got the same. Unless it's blue with white now, that could be the case.
Well, at the very least, it seems like the top shirt is a part of the UA thing.
I would say that, but now I'm looking at the uniform, and the uniform kind of has like it kind of forms like an H in the center, essentially.
That might just be how it's. worded, I guess, to show hero and all that stuff. But yeah, I definitely say
Or it's basically the uniform is UA, so it starts with the U at the top and then it makes the A at the bottom. But this one looks like it's just Deku's standard uniform, so it looks like he might have just gotten
a new one.
Might be a slightly updated one. Yeah.
Fair enough. I mean, granted, let's see, you get at least one character wearing a new uniform or like some sort of new uniform.
So I think it's a mix between. I think it's literally just what his old uniform looked like, but now it's blue with the white instead of green and black.
Fair enough. I guess
At least that's what I'm saying. I mean, I have no idea. It's
I guess
freaking black and white panels right there. The
I
only
guess
thing that I can confirm is that yes, the patterns are white now. So I mean, it could be green and white, but those patterns are usually black. So
yeah, I guess we'll have to wait probably a few seasons when we find when like
we could get a cover.
Yeah, when we'll cover this chapter and show us what color the uniforms actually are and all that stuff.
We're sitting here debating what Deku's uniform is. Yeah, this is the topic at hand and was everyone's thought process right now. Actually, I'm sure Chi's just happy as shit that Gran Torino's cape, cloak, whatever you want to call it, is still now part of Deku's uniform.
But yeah. But yeah, it's shown, and they always bring out new clothes and uniforms at some point during the series. I mean, I got pretty much obsessed when the K11 all wore leaf vests except Naruto.
Yeah, Naruto's change was his QB cloak.
Yeah, let's see. Everyone got to wear the standard leaf gut up, and Naruto gets like 3 Saiyan transformations.
Sasuke didn't luck out nearly as much. He just kept his same freaking uniform from.
It's just, I find it a bit ironic because Sasuke, the character Kishimoto, changed his look more than any other character. Didn't get a new look for the war arc.
Yeah, didn't even get it. Well, his look was the same from the Land of Iron onwards. The 5 Kage Summit arc onwards, Sasuke never changed his apparel.
Yeah. But anyway, speaking of Naruto, I'd say Koei has probably done another sort of Naruto-style humor distraction, which, though granted, instead of using the sexy no jutsu, let's see,
Thousand Years of Death.
Yeah, yeah, that would be a perfect opportunity for what Millennium does. Is he sticks his butt in, like, and calls it the full moon rising tonight, and that seems to like put off Shigaraki for a second. It's like, wait, what?
Well, of course. Bright future, man. That's a bright future.
Yeah, but yeah, this definitely reminds me of the reverse ham no jutsu against Kaguya.
The only reason it worked now on Shigaraki compared to whatever the fuck the reverse harem was on who knows? Maybe they had the same exact effect. It's just you don't expect it to happen.
Yeah.
It's like, what? That's your big plan?
Yeah. It always comes. It also kind of reminds me of like that bit in Star-Lord dances in front of like let's see, Ronan the Executioner.
Yeah.
So it's like you expect something serious to happen, and then this very silly, jokey moment that's happening. It's like, oh boy, but yeah. Granted, let's see. Well, I probably did find it funny. I'd probably say the reverse ham one is probably just funnier, just because of how you see Sakura's reactions. Like, this is stupid. Okay, this would work on me, but no way would it work on a goddess. And then it's like, wait a minute, it worked.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So yeah.
So yeah, that was like a pretty funny moment.
Oh, so it was now, you say?
Let's see. Is it better than the Kaguya moment? I'd say probably Maybe, but yeah. I mean, granted, that bit in Kaguya was the only good part of the whole Kaguya Returns fight bit, besides the last panel of Team 7 working together. But yeah. But anyway, now that Midoriya's here, what do you expect him to do?
Go off.
Yeah, you expect him to, I take, go off with take it because of the reaction of seeing all his friends battered and beaten by Shigaraki.
Well, yeah, that too. I mean, I don't know if he didn't expect that to happen at some point, but yeah. He's supposed to be the main dish in this sequence, so yeah. I don't know, but yeah. Funny enough.
But yeah, it seems after a while we finally got him back and all that stuff, and I couldn't be happier. But yeah, but there are some characters I wish
did stuff before Deku finally got back into the fray.
Because I think from previous experiences, like once a main character comes in from the fray, they take all the spotlight, even when all the side characters have had their time to shine.
The one thing I will admit is that while I am glad Deku finally made it back, I was certain that they would try to resolve the Dabi thing before Deku finally came on back to the fold.
And Dabi is still alive.
Yeah, well, now I'm curious how that's gonna I don't know how this is all gonna. Oh no, he's gonna do it, man, without it feeling like pacing is gonna get thrown to hell and back.
Who knows? But granted, I definitely assume that Ida's now going to play a bit more in the role for round 2 of this fight.
Like I said, my prediction for Ida was that maybe he can just ignore heat, like run faster than it, but that would also have to mean that he improved to the point. And I already said it once, we've only ever seen him run in a straight line, so unless he can run now in like any speedster in any other forms of media.
Yeah, well, it's superhero comics particularly.
Yes.
Or I guess Sega's, mascot Sonic.
Or Speedy Gonzalez, or
Roadrunner. By naming all these Looney Tune characters.
Yeah. So yeah, unless he can finally do that, which again, that I don't really care how it would have came to be at this point.
The only thing I probably have left to ask is that, given the fact that Shigaraki beated everyone up except Luminium and Best Genius, I guess Edge Shot.
Yep.
Do you think there'll be some focus on Asta's reaction to them being defeated, or you think there'll just be some motivation to try and take him down later?
I could see both. I could see one way or the other. I don't know if there's really a thing to do before, thing to after.
Fair enough.
But I'm curious because the last ones that we talked about before these 2 chapters was what? Main Prime One for All.
Sorry.
Prime All for One, I mean.
Oh yeah, Prime All for One and One.
He's gonna burn out. Yeah.
He'll at the very least, we know that he's gonna probably die by the end of this fight. At least, let's see, the other villains and heroes remains to be seen right now. Though it seems like Edge Shot is gonna bite the bucket.
I would be shocked if he didn't, considering they just played that up that he was going to be giving his life up.
Yeah. So yeah. Overall, I think I'll give this chapter a sort of 8 out of 10.
Yeah, I'd say 8's fine.
You got Midoriya returning to the battlefield, the surprise Luminium joke, the jets from Stars and Stripes are here and all that stuff.
I have no idea what they'd be doing, but
and Shigaraki's new body transformation.
Yep.
Which I will admit, I do like how original it is, because, well, face it, we've seen too many homages to Dragon Ball lately.
I'm gonna say this. I'm pretty sure what he ultimately decided was he was getting tired of drawing like freaking tentacle hands. So he decided, you know what? I'm still gonna draw more hands, but I'm gonna now condense it.
Fair enough.
And this is how I'm gonna condense it because they're all on his legs now too. I got hands for legs.
Mm-hmm.
And I got a massive hand. That's Fusamasu right there, at least from the anime.
Fair enough. I gotta probably look up to this reference and all that stuff. But
I'll show you a picture right now, man. I will show you a picture right now.
okay, go ahead.
I will send you that picture.
Okay, I will look forward to it.
I look forward to it. It's reversed, but it's clearly Fusamasu. Unless it's not reversed and I'm looking at the wrong one, but
Mm-hmm. Let's see.
I don't care where. Do you want me to just send it through?
Yeah, send it for Skype.
All right, fine. Damn it. I knew that would happen.
Okay.
I found it, but I clicked the image instead of just copying the
link to it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then it took me to another link.
Okay.
Why didn't that just work the normal way?
Mm-hmm. I can see.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Shigaraki's looks like Senishu, I think it is, or
Zamasu.
Amasu. Yeah.
It's the reverse. It's the other hand, but I mean, still, he's got one freakishly big arm and then one normal sized arm. It's like, oh man,
Dragon
Ball Super up in here. That's the anime, not the manga. The manga never really touched that form. But
yeah, to be fair, on one hand, I suppose I should be glad it isn't another Dragon Ball reference of Frieza or Goku's Super Saiyan, if you will. Which, no, granted, Boruto did do a reference to like the Frieza to what he did with the 10 tails.
Yeah.
Coded to the 10 tails. I'm not sure if you heard.
What's that? Oh yeah.
But yeah. But I think we've probably just about covered everything up to now and all that stuff from Mangareader, unless you have anything else you want to quickly say.
No, I absolutely think we covered most of it.
Yep, it seems we have. And thank you, Mangareader, for joining me, and thank you for doing these 2 chapters. And I suppose it was the right thing to wait to have like 2 chapters, given how the first one came out.
Yeah, this is compared to the last double chapter we did, which was only because we waited for Chi to come on and never did.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this one went significantly faster because these 2 chapters were fairly short.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. Let's see if that will remain the case in the next few chapters. I might try and review the next chapter by itself, or if I can probably see if Lucky Chi can join us. But we'll probably have to wait and see and all that stuff.
I hope they're not freaking just 15 pages every time now.
Yeah, it's getting a bit of a... Oh boy. It's feeling like the old Dragon Ball days, because those were like 13-page chapters with my recall.
Yep, like I said, they're just padding.
So yeah. But yeah, we'll see how the fight between Midori and Shigaraki goes. If that remains like the sole focus, which hopefully it won't be, but yeah.
Right.
So yeah, overall, I'm Blue Star Saber.
I'm Mangareader.
And we are signing off. Thank you for joining, everyone. Goodbye. Plus Ultra.
Plus Ultra.
And with that, ta-da.